Sadhu. So, dear Dhamma friends, it is very important for us to understand the very nature of this life, to maintain this life. So always you have to remember this life is belong to time. And there are 8 kind of worldly conditions around us. And sometimes we gain things, sometimes we lose things. And sometimes people cheer us, and sometimes people discriminate. And sometimes people say good, sometimes people say bad. And sometimes we feel good, and sometimes we feel bad. Regarding inside, outside, physical, mental, and these worldly conditions bound with our day-to-day life. So understanding this and maintaining a solid, comfortable life is your responsibility. Because day by day we see how people collapse, how people get disturbed out of this worldly nature. There's nothing wrong with the nature. We don't understand the reality and we don't recognize it, and we don't go with the according to the necessary conditions, things around us. So that's why understanding this worldly nature and developing and maintaining a lifestyle yourself without getting any disturb is blessing, and it is a profitable skill. And when you yourself, when you having your life, when you become educate yourself, and also when you trying to make your children educated, when you trying to your children schooling, so remember to school their day-to-day life with these worldly conditions. Otherwise, doesn't matter how they become, where they reach, and you will see they're going to get into disturb or the difficulties or the troubles, and they get disappointed. Every day we see well-known people, and in many different ways they became successful in the world, but still sometimes they suicide. Still we hear that kind of situations. And physically, materially, they have everything, but sometimes they cannot handle their own thoughts. They cannot handle the situation when it comes to their own life. So that's why understanding the very nature of the world is important for all of us, even from king to the beggar, the rich person to poor person, and everywhere. We see sometimes people become disturbed because they don't understand this worldly nature. The very important thing not to take anything as personal. And other thing is there are few methods. So I'm going to tell you 4 kind of examples. Remember it in your life and develop it in your life day to day, and try to teach your children, because this is very important. We seen every day people get disturbed from themselves, from their own mind, and sometimes from their own loved ones, from their own day-to-day activities. And once they get disturbed, with that disturbed mind, what will happen? And the greed, hatred, or the delusion arise, they cannot handle it anymore. So that's why this is very important. Every day, keep this clarity. So come out of these worldly conditions. So the one of the important thing is be like a lion. In the jungle, the lions never get disturbed out of any kind of sounds. So that is one of the behavior. When you practice meditation and when you develop a day-to-day life, remember, be like a lion, develop that quality. Never get disturbed out of the sound. So keep your calmness, keep your cool. So while you're practicing meditation and in day-to-day life, you have to remind it. You have to practice it with the little things. And you always don't look for your comfort zone. Don't maintain your comfort zone. So it is okay sometimes get disturbed, and teach your children it is okay to get disturbed. It is okay sometimes things become hard. It is okay sometimes things become difficult. So that is one thing. Be like a lion, not to get disturbed from any sounds. Another one is be like a nest. The nest cannot hold any kind of air. The nest itself has the space, and when the air blow, the air go through the nest. So same like never allow people words to stuck in you. And sometimes they say good and sometimes they say bad. If you stuck with the good, sometimes what will happen? Unknowingly, that you are available to receive the bad. So people say things knowingly or unknowingly sometimes. And sometimes people say things without any idea. So don't make a big deal out of what other people say sometimes. It is okay to listen to and get advice sometimes if there is a necessary situation. But whatever other people say in day-to-day life, especially your friends, loved ones, and sometimes they say things, it doesn't mean anything. They just say it. So that's why be like a nest and don't try to hold any words. Just let it go through you. So that is the second example. The third example, be like a lotus flower. And you born in the mud, you come through the water, and you come from the mud, but you come above the water and stay untouched. So same like in this world, with this ordinary life, we born with this life. We born with sometimes greed, hatred, and the delusion. And that is the very nature of this society. But you no need to be the same like that. So come out of the water and stay above, stay untouched, and you don't be kind of like the same people. Don't have the same behavior sometimes with like your family members. Don't behave same like your husband or the wife. And especially if they have the greed, hatred, and the delusion, and you no need to be part of that. So we see sometimes as a person, as a family, as a village, as a state, as a country, and sometimes we follow as parties, as religions, we follow others, and we start to become part of their greed, hatred, and the delusion, and it develop a current, huge current. You see nowadays around the world, when one person throw the stone and 100 people, 1,000 people come behind it and follow. When one person share the ignorance, 1,000 people follow that. So we are the one who keep doing it. So then it is your responsibility not to become like that. Be aware yourself. Don't feed to any greed, hatred, or the delusion yourself, and take care yourself deeper inside you, and that will help not to feed to the current outside world. So that's how you can stay untouched from the water, even though you born there. Even though we born in this world with the greed, hatred, and the delusion, even though we carry it from this samsara, and today we no need to repeat it again and again. So you are more matured, and so then teach your children not to follow the same kind of methods like other people. Teach your children to be different a little bit. No need to be same like other people do the same thing. And so that way, it helps for you to come out of this worldly nature and stay untouched. Otherwise, sometimes that if you stay in the water same way, and sometimes what will happen? There are different animals in the water, like different fish, and come and eat the flower and break the flower. And sometimes even when it is stay touch with the flower, it never going to perform it 100% strength. And there is, when the flower stuck in the water, what is happening? There is no fragrance. No any bees can take the honey, and the itself, the flower going to become die very soon. So you don't need to be like that. You born as a human being. This is very rare. Look at how many animals in this world. Even look how many people around this world, still they don't understand what is right, what is wrong. But you are able to practice like this way. So this is very rare. So then remember yourself. Always try to stay untouched the water, because if you stay with the water, what will happen? That your wisdom not going to valid to this world. It's like the fragrance not going to smell when it is in the water. When it come to the water, you cannot smell anything. The water can absorb the smell. So same like, if you stay with the ordinary people, and what will happen? Your wisdom going to disappear. So then yourself, every day remember, be like a flower, stay untouched. It is okay, other people, whatever they behave. And sometimes if it is possible for you to, you can advise them little by little, slowly, when the right time comes, with the right words. So otherwise, it is better yourself, you become a better person and you become example and stay untouched. Because we have very limited time, and your responsibility is the important thing is yourself, not to get disturbed, or not to destroy yourself, or not allow anyone to destroy your life. So the third is be like a flower. Even you come out of the mud, you no need to criticize it. Even you come through the water, you no need to criticize it. So appreciate it, pay your gratitude, but to stay untouched. So the fourth one, be like a rhino. The rhino is the animal, very rare you see, they stay as a bunch. Mostly they are stay alone themselves in the deeper jungle, and they stay alone themselves. So take some time yourself to stay alone yourself. And don't always try to be with others. Teach your children to be alone a little bit. That is a great practice. When you are alone yourself, and there is a language you can learn to listen to yourself. That is one of the great, beautiful skills that you have, if you can develop it. So when you don't develop that, what will happen? Always this proliferation, this your mental chattering yourself, and not only yourself, then you go with others always. And when you are with other people always, it take you to unnecessary situations. And sometimes we have no power to reverse the incident. We go with others. We go, it's like a current. You don't see sometimes how strong it you can take to it. So when we go to prison sometimes to talk to them, and sometimes they say they had no idea to do anything, and get into drugs, get into violence, and get into any kind of criminal things. When they are alone, they are very nice people. But once they get into the group of people, then what is happening? They change themselves. Even they don't understand what is happening to them. So it is a great art you have to learn little by little to be alone. And so during this time period, look what happening. And in the quarantine time period, in this outbreak, and some people, and they don't understand the very nature of the behavior of the pattern of the virus, and they always wanna go with others. They always go with others. But it is okay yourself a little bit, be alone, give little space yourself, learn to be like that. It's a great practice. And not only that, you don't get disturbed from out of others sometimes. Even in life, things go up and down. You have the husband, wife, children, parents, brothers, sisters, and sometimes in your own family, things go a little bit up and down. So in that moment, if you become a little bit silent and stay alone a little bit rather than going to fight, argue, and there are great ways that you can fix a lot of problems or the situations around us rather than get into difficulties. So those are the four qualities yourself to deal within yourself in day-to-day life with this worldly nature. So remember, be like a lion. Don't get disturbed out of any sound or unnecessary sounds. And the other thing is, be like a nest. Don't hold it to anything. Let things to go through you. Another one is, be like a lotus flower. Even you come through the mud, come through the water, stay untouched. The fourth one is, be like the rhino in the deep jungle, alone, yourself. And sometimes in day-to-day life, stay a little bit yourself. In the Western, it called go to the closet. Stay yourself, find some place and be silent. Learn to be alone. So these four qualities will help you to develop your personality deeply, spiritual personality deeply, and you become a strong person, and you're not going to become worry, sad, unhappy because of other people. So that is important. So don't allow others' opinions to become your life. People have different opinions. People say things with the different ideas, but it no need to be your reality. But how you can develop it? The very first thing, important thing, yourself, you have to develop certain wisdom. So the wisdom yourself to get into your own hands, your own responsibility to start to work yourself. And rather than depending from others, even parenting, when you parenting yourself, when you build your children and start to teach them to always maintain their life themselves. And it is okay to you give love. It is okay you share your love. But don't allow anyone to depend from love, because it's going to become great misery. And their life going to become more difficult if people start to depend from love. So that we see everywhere. And even as a husband, wife, even as parents sometimes, when the children become adults and they go away. And sometimes parents get old and they waiting for their children, and sometimes they get hurt. Even the husband wife the same, even the children sometimes the same. But always remember, even though it is a nice word, sweet word, it's a beautiful word, the reality in life is completely different. The understanding this worldly nature is very important as human being to have a very comfortable life in this very conventional life. Because in this conventional life, if you become comfortable, in that comfort, whatever the tranquility state you gain, through that way you have a dual wisdom to go through this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, and you can see how things come to be as they are. That clarity you have to develop inside you. If you in a conventional life, if you get disturbed inside you, what is happening? You cannot see whatever come as perception to your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind as it is. And if you cannot see it as it is, you cannot recognize the reality of this world, which call how things come to be as they are. And then you detach from the reality and you go to the illusion. So it is a pattern, it is a method we have to understand. So that's why once you learn this yourself, you can build up a life. It is for not only this very lifetime. Even it doesn't matter we come or not, we come back or not to this world. If you come back, you have these tools to work with yourself. Wherever you go, you can have a very comfortable life, and you can have that comfort and get the best out of the situation. And until you attain to the Nibbana, this is going to become your toolbox to live without getting any harm from others, without getting any pain from others. So think about it and practice it and get into yourself, resonate with it and absorb to it and keep it with you every day, moment by moment, reflect it. Try to use it in day-to-day life. So that is where your wisdom become more sharp and clear, and that will help for your sansaric journey. And also it will become a great gift for yourself to share it with others, share it with your loved ones, share it with your children, share it with your next generation. So with that, I bless upon everyone with this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you, may no difficulties come to you, may no problems come to you. May you also have the patience, courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbityo vajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu mate bhavattantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata cammi sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you. Thank you very much, everyone.